Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Here we are, VTP Stage 2 Online, Technical Tuesday, coaching call 195 for 9th of June 2026. I hope you're well. Hope you've had a good start to the week. Hope you're enjoying these swings in volatility, okay, but you're probably used to them by now. If you're in the room, great to have you here. Just confirming that you can hear my voice and see the slides. That would be very much appreciated. As always, you are very welcome here, but just remember you're always responsible for your own trading and investment decisions. Super, thank you. All right, let's look at commodities. So commodities have been swinging a lot, but just look at that. All right, in terms of the STAM, it's very rare to see it. Normally you hear me saying how mixed it is. That is quite something in terms of it's all in selling. A lot of that is that dollar strength, right? That dollar strength pummeling commodities. Okay, if we look at what happened in the day yesterday, well, kind of the one that's noticeable is the VIX. Okay, the VIX dropped considerably, right? That's telling us something. So did Bitcoin, but that's not really a massive shock there at the moment with regards to Bitcoin. Oil also kind of dropped as well, both Brent and West Texas, once the the ceasefire was being adhered to. And with that, well, you've also got a little bit of precious metals having a bump off that as well. Palladium, copper, platinum, all right, all doing well yesterday. But if we look at it over the last week, okay, what we can see is this is, the heat map is on the week. Bitcoin has been hammered, no surprise. Most of those precious metals, in particular silver, okay, have taken a bit of a kicking, as has the oil, okay. They had a little bit of a bump at the weekend, but it's kind of they've kind of dropped their way off there. And the agris, okay, the agris have taken a bit of a hit, which is kind of interesting because soybeans and corn have been quite intriguing, all right, in terms of the way they've played out, as has kind of cotton. And as I said, maybe we'll take a little look at that soybean in particular. There's been we've now gone S to S, but there was great follow through from the price action of the last few weeks. But we'll look at that on the live markets in a moment. Yeah, just looking at our own heat map, as I said, you're looking at the indices and commodities from being green and giddy. All right, here a few weeks ago, that's quite a change, isn't it? All right, that's quite a change coming into this week, and at the same time, look at the commodities backing that up as well. All right, there's I look at that as trouble brewing myself. All right, but we're gonna have to see what Trump does to turn that around. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be an interesting week or two. All right, so just a few commodities here, because there's a few learning points here. Okay, I don't cover as much as I should do on the stage two, but as I said, it's just there's not enough hours in the days, and I could sit and talk all day, on the stage two call. Okay, there's always stuff to be going on, but what we're really interested in is, all right, how can this help us? What's this bringing up? So if I let's just quickly bring this up again. So yeah, so you can see that we're talking lots of STAM 1S there. Okay, there has been, right, and we had nice follow through on soybean. When you see me writing that, what does that actually mean? What's that actually telling you? So let's go to soybean. So I talked about soybeans a few weeks ago because, of course, soybeans is the big thing that Trump and Xi talk about, okay, because the Chinese need to feed their people, hence why they are big buyers of soybean, and the US are very happy to export them. So here we go. What we'd seen, what was interesting is that this isn't the best chart I've got of it, but it has been in a strong trend, and we had kind of double top here up at around about 1200, and then actually this is diamonds. Okay, this is a 3-bar breakout. All right, it is also a bearish engulfing candle. It's a bearish rejection candle. It's a bearish key reversal candle, at a double top at the kind of 1200 level, which is a significant level. All right, that's the kind of it's that confluence of events. All right, you've got a few things coming together, also accelerated by the fact that you had the Trump Z conference gig. Bet your life they talked about soybeans, right? And boom, we can see that's why I was saying it's followed it through nicely. Okay, if we go down to the daily chart, that was their move there, which just looks, at the time just looks a bit, oh, Paul, that's all, that's all really quite nasty. But if you look at this through phase stage 2, okay, that is your ultimate high. Okay, there is your VB. Price trades through it. Okay, price trades through it, bounces off the 50, and then here gives you a perfect, all right, Vulcan short. Okay, perfect Vulcan reversal short there. Okay, so that's it. You can see it was working its way up. It was bouncing nicely off the 50. Okay, and as it bounced off, it hadn't cracked any of its VBs. All right, hadn't cracked any, and then we pushed to this high, come back down, break it. Okay, pop up off it, put in that pin bar, and then that basically that becomes a move. But even I wasn't, even I didn't, I wasn't expecting it to sell off. So that is really, you can see that is just a foolishly aggressive sell. I wasn't expecting that and stuff. But you look at the 4-hour chart on it there. Okay, that has been quite some significant drop there, hasn't it? All right, that's the cheaper those soybeans are, the more our Chinese friends will want to buy them. Okay, and so there we go. We've gone all the way down to that daily 200. So yeah, so there's good price action there. Okay, to look at on that. One of the other ones that's kind of interesting you can learn from has been cotton. So bang, this is cotton on the weekly chart. Okay, there hadn't been much happening. All right, it just been in that kind of drifting lower, all right, trending lower. And then we basically got the into start of February, we kind of flushed the lows of last year. Then once again, let's just, this was the ultimate low. So I'm looking at, well, okay, where is the, where is the VB? There's the VB there, okay, and it popped up at it, hit the 50 as usual. Once it crashes the VB, there's normally a little bit of a pullback. And then we kind of worked our way higher, and then actually just look at the way that trend worked its way. It was a really strong trend. We're going to look at it on the daily chart. But what ended that trend? Well, big bearish engulfing candle, rejection candle, key reversal candle. Okay, that's what we're looking at. If I go down to the daily chart, okay, yeah, this is what I was saying is we kind of broke out of these highs, and then you're into TFM on the daily chart. This is TFM tactic number 1. Okay, price has pushed its way higher, pulls back. Okay, entry there. Okay, breaks it, pulls back, entry there, breaks it, pulls its way through here. Your next kind of pin was here. If I'm honest, I didn't buy it, and I doubt many people would, because you really are starting to get extended from the moving averages now. You then get a daily key reversal, all right, which let's say aggressive people might have said, shorted on that. Okay, but as I say, if a key reversal fails, the top is normally nearish, and actually what happens is you've got a pin bar here now. I don't think anybody would have really bought that pin bar. Okay, you'd been a brave buyer after the day after a key reversal to buy that. Okay, but actually, bang, this price comes up, pushes its way through. And then what happens is, as usual, we have our, let me just draw this in. We get off VB point, okay. Once we break through it, there's a relief pullback. It doesn't give us a Vulcan in that sense, but you can see it's kind of rolled its way over and it's worked its way nicely, all right, but just kind of worked its way down nicely there. So yeah, as I said, I don't do enough on commodities here, okay, but there are some nice trends on there, okay. There are some nice works, okay, and there's the ability to work it on longer time frames, okay, to be able to enjoy some of the works on there, okay. So if you're not, make sure you are, just having a little bit of a look at those commodities, because as I say, there are occasionally some really, really nice trends you can get a piece of.